In this video, we'll talk about serialization. Serialization is a process of storing and retrieving the state of an object. That is, suppose I want to store the student information in a file, and again I want to retrieve the information of a student from a file. So for explanation, I have a class called student which is having three members, that is name, roll number and branch. So let us first create the object of a student class, then I'll explain further. So student s1, and to this student I will say s1.name, I will assign some name, and in the same line I will write down s1.roll number, assign 10, and in the same line I will say s1.branch is CS. So I have initialized an object with name, roll number and branch. What I want to do is I want to store this object in a file. So we have already seen this, writing name and roll number and branch of a student, but that time we were writing individual values. I want to store this as an object. So I will say of stream, OFS, that is output file output stream. I'll give the file name as student.txt, and if anything is there, I want to truncate. Okay. Now what I want is I want to save all these contents in this file output stream. So I have to store name separately, roll number separately and branch. All three things I should write them individually. OFS s1.name and NL, then OFS s1.roll number and NL, output file stream s1.branch and NL. So that's how I can write all these values in a file. Now we are at a point to discuss the exact thing, that is serialization. Is it not possible that I write OFS S1 and the complete object should be written? Why I should store all these values individually? So that's the point. If I can store the object as it is, then all this name, roll number and branch, all three things should be stored in a file. Then I can say that I have stored an object. But here if you see, I am storing name, I am storing roll number and also I am storing branch. Instead of that, I can say I have stored an object if I am able to do this. So that's it. So I can store an object as well as I can retrieve the object. Yes, this is possible. So storing the state of an object and retrieving the state of an object. So how it is possible? So we have to overload this operator of OF stream in a student class. Now let us go back to student class. Here I will define one function, friend OF stream and reference, and the function name is operator, insertion operator, then OF stream, and I should take a reference. I will say OFS here, and also I should also take an object of student reference S. I have made a friend function. So you know well that when you want to override insertion or extraction operator, then you must make them as friend function. So this is a file output stream. So I am overriding an operator, that is insertion operator, on a file, not on a console. So let us implement this function outside. OF stream reference operator and OF stream OFS and student, as it is same signature I should write down. Then inside this function I will say OFS s dot name, I will store name, then OFS s dot roll number and NL, and OFS s dot branch and NL, and finally I should return OFS, that is output file stream. So that's it. I have overloaded this operator. So instead of writing all these things individually, I can send this OFS to that operator along with student object S1, and it will be writing the entire thing in a file. That's it. So this is about storing the state of an object in a file. Then after that we will say ofs.close. See, the program becomes simple because everything, the complexity of writing the contents of an class, that is student class, inside an file is handled inside the class itself with the help of friend function by overloading an operator. So how to store this student object? Who knows it better? Now this function knows it better. Now what the main function is doing, main function is creating an object of student class, initializing it and storing it. I'll just change the name here because we have already used that name previously. So now I have Khan and roll number 10 and branch is CS. Let me run this program and show you that the file will be created with student.txt. Executed. Nothing happened because there is no output in my program. Let us go to file and project settings and check this folder where the file is created. Yeah, student.txt. You can see that the contents are written in a file. Khan, 10 and CS. That's all about storing the state of an object. Now let us look at how to retrieve the state of an object. I'll change the same program and show you how we can read the contents from the same file. So let us go to the main function. In the main function I already have an object, so I will remove this initialization part. I will not initialize anything. Now instead of output stream I will use file input stream, and this is IFS, and I will not truncate the file. This mode is not required. Then I have to override extraction operator so that I should be able to say IFS S1. And I can read the complete object of a student. So that's it. This is the idea of retrieving the state of an object. I want the code to be so simple that just if I say IFS, that is file input stream, and S1, I should be able to read the student object. So for that I have to overload this operator. So which operator? That is extraction operator. So I'll do one thing. I'll copy this entire thing and paste it again. Pasted. So instead of file output stream, this is going to be a file input stream. So I'm making changes in this one. Now this has become for file input stream, and I will copy this one to overload this operator. Now here at last I should return IFS, that's there. Now I have to read the values. So I should say file input stream, that is file input stream, that is in IFS. I should say s.name, s.roll number and s.branch. That's all. I should read 3 values from the file. I should remove friend keyword from here. So I'm reading 3 values from the file here. So this is for reading the data from a file. So the file object will be sending here, and that file object will be reading the values into an object that is student S, and make sure that you have to make it as reference, otherwise the object will not be updated. Yeah, I missed one thing, that is this should be an extraction operator, so the operator label I did not change. So I have copied the same code and made modification. Now this is the overloading of file input stream, that is IFS, input file stream. Now I have overloaded the operator, so this will be performing retrieving the state of a student object. Now after retrieving, I want to display it on the screen, and I will say cout name of a student, that is s1.name, and cout roll number s1.roll. And here also I will mention handle. Then cout branch of a student, that is s1.branch. and L. Now, this program will open this file and read the data from the file for a student S1, and it will display the content. Now you see the simplicity of a main function, all the complexity, how to store the data, how to retrieve the data of a student from a file is managed by these operators which are friend to this student class. These operators are there which are handling everything, how to write and read into a file. And their implementation is available here. This is writing the data which we have already seen in previous example. This is reading the data from a file. Now this should read a data from a file and store the contents in a student object, and those contents we should be able to see them on the screen. Let us run it. Yeah, I got the name Khan and roll number 10 and branch is CS. So that's it. This is so simple. The complexity of file handling is separated and it is kept within the class itself, and the main function is made more simple, and this we say that retrieving the state of an object from a file. So that's all about serialization. You can try this one, and any object you want to store and retrieve in a file you can use serialization. So for that you must overload these operators.